3.
That's
Oh no,
baby.
I'm off. Hey, fellas, John, you up in here with us? So you
Yes,
you
sir.
up in the rebellion verse? Hey, so there's no cussing for the first 8 minutes, is it?
Hey, we'll see who break the mold this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we some cussers in here. So it's 8 minutes. So I'm telling you, just in case you won yourself, my guy.
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
All right.
So
Yeah.
like, share, subscribe, share the live, get 5. And what's 5, you ask? Well, that's the 5 pillars of this glorious thing we call nerddom: movies, comics, anime/animation, manga, and art. The 5 pillars. I am your host, XO. I'm sitting here with Big Psyche. He holding up a comic. I don't know what that comic is right there.
Hey, this is some heat right here. We don't have to dive into this today. This is heat. This tribal force. Y'all might not be up on it, but y'all gonna be up on it today.
Woo! Hey, we next to Blackfire, Lightning Wolf B. What's up, man?
What's up, man?
How you doing,
Hey,
man?
I'm doing
Hey,
all right.
I can't wait to get to who we got in the building right here. Mr. John Santanta. Santanta Proudstar up
There
in
you go.
here with us today. Hey, I wanna say thank you for coming through, man. We couldn't wait for this to happen. I feel like it's the perfect time. You dropped that issue 2. We in here.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah,
How you doing, my guy?
I'm doing. It's a good day today. Really good day. My grandson's been battling cancer, and we just he had a scan done last week, and we got some great news in today. So doesn't get better than that. And I'm here with you guys.
Yeah. Hey, round of, hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, I gotta give it up, man. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Shout out to the cancer survivors. My pops is a cancer survivor. Shout out to them.
You got a scrapper over there.
Yeah, he's doing great.
Yeah, the X-Man.
That's right. Yeah, X-Man, my little X-Man. Yeah.
Hey, so we have a little bit of I would like to welcome actor, director, writer Jon Proudstar. We met you at Tucson Comic-Con.
Yeah, you did, man. You guys were having way too much fun over there.
or just enough. You know what I'm saying?
No, man. Everybody was talking about you guys, man. You guys had a blast, man.
Yeah,
or it looked like you guys were having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we gotta hold on. I'm gonna call you a mage. You're gonna be a mage today because I feel like you dropped us off something fire that I've been doing this for an entire time, and you finally dropped it on us, and it's called what Santa? What's this comic called?
What? Tribal Force.
There we go. Hold
Tribal
it up, man.
Force.
Tribal Force. Hey,
my man's right there. That's my man's on the cover. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's my dog.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You dropped a little here. Let me put this on here, and I've been looking at it and seeing it transition. And I want to say right here, right now, great work. Woo! I almost did it.
You almost did it.
Great work, my guy. Oh, fantastic! Fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
It had one thing that I admire about you, man, is the fact that you were like we had an interview with you. We sat down at Tucson Comic-Con, and you were tired of how characters in the comic books were how they were treated sometimes. Would you say that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And not represented well. And so you decided, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna just do it myself.
Yeah.
And I've been reading comic books for a long time, man. And I was deep dive jumped into that thing. It was on fire. And I want to say what drive did you get to be like, you know what, man, I'm in there no matter what to get it done.
it just, man, it's been with me since '96. We put our first issue out in '96, and then I knew how important it was back then to create heroes for Native kids. So it broke my heart when we couldn't get issue 2 out. And ever since '96, I've been on this journey to find the right publisher, to find the right help. And, luckily I found Machine Comics and, Gene Jimenez, who actually worked on the original book back in '96. And he understood it. He understood the whole philosophy behind it. So he didn't give me any problems like the other publishers did. So, I knew it had to be done and I wasn't going to stop. If anything, I'm stubborn and I knew I'd complete it. I just didn't know when. And thank God we did it, man. It's so great to see it 2 out.
So I want to go at the start real quick. So you said you had put it out in '96.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what happened? What happened with that?
Well, we put it out, and then the company that we were with, it was called Mystic Comics. It went out of business as we were doing issue 2, and that was it. There was no more money. There was, nobody could publish it, so it left Tribal Force and me out in the netherworld. And I tried to talk to other publishers. And I ran into a lot of problems when I started talking about storylines about child molestation, survivors of child molestation, violent youth offenders. When I wanted to talk about minority issues, everything, it just scared them. It terrified all these publishers because they didn't want to get any backlash. Right. But I said, well, that's the center of the story, is all this stuff that they wanted me to take out. And I said, if we take all that out, then it's just like any comic book, it's just comic book with characters that look native. It's not about natives. And unfortunately, the world had to kind of wait for something like Reservation Dogs to come out to finally inform the world, hey, this is who we are. This is the reality of it, and portray natives in a real way for the first time,
Yeah. Go ahead, Bobby.
Nah, man. You just bringing that up. I don't know. Yeah, we want to touch on the Tribal Force, but yeah, that Reservation Dogs, man. I know I hit you up, and I was like, I was absolutely like blown away by what I saw. Just blown. I've never seen anything like that.
Me neither.
I feel like reading comic books as a young mustache. I've been reading comic books for a while as well. I'm not as deep as Bobby or EXO, but I've been doing my thing, and I wouldn't say that I've struggled to find representation in comic book characters, because I can resonate with He-Man, I can resonate with Goku, I can resonate with Superman, but it's not the same as resonating with a character who has a background similar to yours, or an upbringing similar to yours. It makes that bond or that connection that much stronger. And I feel like that's what we got with Tribal Force. With soon as I bust open the first page, the girl Nikita Nakal, how do you say her name?
Nita. Yeah.
Okay. So she reminded me of like my niece, bro. Like soon as I started reading it, I was like, this is my niece that I'm reading about, bro. And I just want to say kudos to you, because it's like you don't know what you've been missing until the motherfucker give it to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't know you like banana pudding until a nigga like, here go this banana pudding, So I want to say thank you for that banana pudding. That shit was fire. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's super important. When I was younger, my community, we gravitated toward African-American movie stars and heroes, like Shaft was really huge with Native Americans, and Bruce Lee, because, they weren't Caucasian. They were something else. They were minority, and we could relate to them in that way. But, I just felt, when is it going to be our time? When is it going to be Native times? And every time I've seen Hollywood take, African Americans and Native Americans, it's like they want parts of our culture. They dig parts of our culture, but they don't dig us.
Right.
And And that's the part I learned that through what the African American community had to go through. I saw what the movie business and the music business did to African Americans, how they used their stuff, but they didn't want to award these artists or people or individuals or the community. It's like, yeah, we just want your flavor, but you stay out of here.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that's why all the stuff that came out that was done through non-native eyes, it's just really vanilla. It's just very stereotypical. And, until again, Reservation Dogs showed the world, no, this is who we are. This is what we're really like. And the world loved it.
Hey, I wanna talk about something on Reservation Dogs. I wanna ask. I can't wait till we get to that. I read that Tribal Force was inducted into the Smithsonian Institute.
Yeah.
And you wanna speak on that?
Well, yeah, I didn't know at the time that I thought there may have been other Native comic books that I didn't know about, but I had no idea what we were doing at the time. And then I got contacted by a university in Boston, and they said they wanted my book in their library because we were the first. And I go, are you sure about that? And they said, yeah, you're the first. And then the Smithsonian contacted me because they were doing an event, and they had natives in pop culture, and a lot of the natives that were making pottery and different things were including images of Tribal Force on their pottery and stuff. And Smithsonian said, well, who's this character? And everyone kept telling him about this comic book that came out in 1996, and it really influenced all these artists, and so they contacted me and basically told me, yeah, you're the first all native superhero comic book to ever come out, ever. And I was blown away, but then at the same time, I was a little sad. I was like, how is that possible that I could be the first? It's like, this country's over 500 and some years old, and you're telling me I'm the first human being to ever pull that off?
Yeah.
And it just makes me realize, the struggle of my people, of what we had to go through. If I'm gonna be the first guy, all the woulda, coulda, shoulda stories that probably happened before me, all my relatives that probably wanted to do something like that at some point, in time, when media started to come out. And it's like, again, I always reference the Black community because I learned so much, from your guys' community, and stuff like the Jeffersons, Good Times, all those shows that came out, this guy took credit for, and it wasn't his ideas. It was the idea of a Black man, and we don't find this out till years later. And he's not going to get the credit. He's not going to get the financial treasures that came along with those incredible shows, those groundbreaking shows. So I feel really fortunate that I am, considered to be the first guy to do that. And, who knows who came before me, to try and do that or wanted to do that.
And it's such a bright story that, So I was going to ask you about creative control later on, but the fact that you said that about they wanted to change up some stuff about it, and the fact that like, nah, I'm gonna tell this story. I just think that's so dope because I talk about that on here all the time. You do this, you do this. If I make this, you do this, or I'll do this. And I love that.
And what's crazy is that, like, how they're scared of doing a story, right? Because I'm about to, I'm here. I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it.
You blow the spot up, man?
Yeah, because every time you tell a story that's not white, it always looks bad on the white America, because you tell your story and it's just a story, right? It's just like, for instance, I bring this up all the time, like Braveheart, right? I love Braveheart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Freedom. I get hyped when, you know what I'm saying, during that scene. That's a movie where we can all look at somebody going against the machine. But there's always a problem when there's they got a little bit of melanin in them, right? It's always a little problem because you have to tell the story, right? And I think that like it's okay, man. Like it's okay to see somebody tell their story, right? It's okay, man, because that's how we get to know each other. It's not because we're of course we're different, but that's what accepting the differences makes us stronger, right? But because there's a because everybody, a hit dog always holler. That's what that's a term, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't get the stories that you want to see, like, oh well, we don't want to send that message. Like, but what message is it? You know what I'm saying? Like what message, like this happened, or this is just so I think we all know, but
it's oh, go ahead.
No, well, the thing is that what the Caucasian community doesn't understand is by suppressing these stories, they're limiting the knowledge of this country, how this country came to be, and how it unfolded over the years. It's an incredible story. All our stories, the Jewish story, the Black story, the Native American story, the Chinese story, all these people that made up America, it just wasn't white folk, and if you tell the whole story, it makes this country even more incredible for the fact that it still exists. But when you suppress all that and you tell this weird story of, these white people showed up and just started putting buildings up and, and that was it. And the Black and Latino and Native American and Asian community had nothing to do with this. It's like, really? Really?
Yeah. No, that's real. I want to point out a scene in the book. So it was so dope how I was told. Okay, so I'm gonna just come right out and say it. I'm gonna tell this little piece. The scene of the nightmare scene. I've never seen a panel like, I don't know, that was kind of brilliantly done and beautifully drawn and beautifully written, just like how it was transpiring between the CPS call and the war. And you had big what's my man named
Little Bighorn.
Yeah, when he was tearing stuff down, just to watching that unfold is just beautiful work, man. Who's the artist of your book? I know you
Chris
told us
Williams.
before about Chris Williams.
Chris Williams. Yeah, I believe he's out of Pennsylvania. Very talented kid, man. This guy, I call him a kid, but he's in his 30s. But yeah, I'm so lucky to have him and Jake Eisenberg and Gene on the book. They make it. I mean, I'm a fan. It's hard for me to be objective when I'm looking over his pages because it's so damn good. And I just get caught up like I'm reading a comic book, and I got to remember, like, no, you got to look at this, like an editor, like is everything meshing? But and he responds so quickly every time I tell him to change something, because he's not Native American, he's African American. Right. And I was so happy to find him because later on in the book, the way I grew up in the ghetto, so I like girls that have that ghetto thickness,
Hey.
And
hey, I'm pretty sure we all grew up in the ghetto as well, sir.
Well, yeah, you know. Yeah, but try to explain that to a white artist. They would just look at me like, "What are you talking about, man?" I go, draw her like she grew up eating mac and cheese. You know what I mean? And they just look at me like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "Oh my God,
Jesus! What do you mean?
Jesus Christ!"
With the whole rescuing. Okay, so I'm not going to say that because that's a bit of a spoil. Are we spoiling? No, that's a bit of a spoiler.
No, that's all right.
Okay, so the scene with burning down the White House right here, but it looks like burning down of the White House, but not knowing that there's it's going down over here, and that's what's really going down. Somebody's attacking the White. It's not on fire. It's being bombarded, and you don't know, and it kind of you don't know when you're first watch, you don't know if it's a good guy or a bad guy or in between as you're looking at this happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's a I know I'm jumping all over here, but I'm excited.
That's right.
That's what happens when I'm excited. There's a input from the journal of Nita, and she says this isn't a story about heroes, it's a story about monsters.
Yeah.
And just how that left me from seeing my man right here, Little Bighorn. And then to read that, it's kind of like I'm tying in both of them, the dad and him. So I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was brilliant in my eyes.
So I feel like the characters, like I didn't really see any heroes per se, and I like that because it's the same reason that I like Luffy. You know what I'm saying? He's the main character, but he's not necessarily a hero. But the story revolves around him, and some of the things that he does are heroic, but he's not doing it to be a hero. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I got that from those characters.
Speak on that a little bit, John, for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was heavily influenced by Conan the Barbarian, you know, the novels by Robert E. Howard. And unlike the comic books, the novels, you know, Conan's very one-dimensional. He's a real simple guy, you know, he fights, he eats, he drinks, he has sex, you know, and those are the things that make him happy. And sometimes he does something that turns out to be heroic, and it's only because it was kind of in the way of him getting to one of those things.
Exactly.
And sometimes, you know, most guys are like that. We're very simple, you know. We like what we like, you know. When we're hungry, we eat. When we're tired, we sleep. When we're horny, we have sex. And you know, sometimes things get in our way to get to those things, and people mistake it for like, oh, you know, he did that, you know, because it's all altruistic, and it's like, no, I did that because I was trying to get over there.
Right.
And you know, but yeah, I wanted to keep the stories simple and the characters simple, and you know, ThunderEagle, even though he's a god, he's pretty simple. The stories between Nita and ThunderEagle are based on the stories of me raising my daughter. I was a single father.
Okay.
And girls just develop faster than us, and they're emotional. I mean, we're playing checkers and girls play chess. And there was always that conflict between me and my daughter. She was very emotional, and a lot of, you know, I'm a guy, so I was trying to understand all that. And as I told these stories later on in my life, people would just laugh, or, you know, they liked hearing about this guy, this mook. I was a bouncer at nightclubs and strip clubs, trying to raise a little girl. And it was hilarious. You know, it was hilarious, and it was painful and terrifying. And you know,
I'm raising a girl as well, man, and I'm in the depths of the dungeons right now.
How old is she?
She's 15.
Oh,
man. Hey, I'm getting kicked up all up and down the street.
That's right. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what I'm feeling. You don't understand.
Hey, so John, here I got a question.
Man, I wanted to just hug you through the screen right now when you just said that, bro. Man, go ahead, Bobby. My bad.
So ThunderEagle, right? So you were saying that he's kind of based off of some of your experiences, right? So what other what cultural aspects did you bring from you into ThunderEagle? Like, can you kind of like break that down a little bit? Like what kinds of cultural things did you bring from your culture into this particular character? Because he a real, like, you know, he burned people's eyes out with energy beams. You know what I'm saying? He's very
Homelandered, didn't he?
Homelandered, he's very like you said, he's very straight to the point. Like, hey, this is who I am. I proclaim this is who, like I'm the son of mysteries. I'm a cook your ass. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't mind, explain a little bit of that for us.
I mean, our gods, the native gods, if you read all the stories, they're not very kind. They're not very kind to humans. And especially the humans reaching out to everyone saying, hey, I'm a leader, I'm a good person, I'm a good medicine man. those are the people they're going to come after because they want to test them. They want to see if they're good. And the gods did horrific things to test us, you know, on a daily basis. And all those stories I had heard all my life about the gods, I was like, man, I don't ever want to run into one of those guys, man. They're not very nice.
Right.
And ThunderEagle just doesn't. The gods just look at us in a different way. And Nita is a god, and she's going to become a god. And you're going to see her develop, and you're going to see this distance between her and humans as soon as she starts to understand what's really going on, you know, with her powers. So yeah, ThunderEagle just does not waste time, does not care about humanity or the laws or anything like that. They have a set of laws they abide by. And all the stories that I was told as a child about the star people, I didn't know when my grandmother would tell me about the star people, I didn't equate it to aliens. And then, you know, when these shows started to come out like Ancient Aliens, I was like, are they talking about the star people? You know, because my tribe, we ascended from the Toltecs. The Toltecs were called the communicators by other tribes because supposedly we were the only ones who could speak to the star people. Other tribes called us that. We didn't say, hey, we're the communicators. Other tribes called us that because they saw us speaking with the star people. So that's, you know, kind of sort of where the beginning of Tribal Force began, was about those star people and me trying to figure out why they were the way they were, what they did. Because the evidence that's there, I don't care how many episodes of Ancient Aliens you watch.
Come on. Hey, John, let's go, man. Let's go.
What the evidence says is somebody was here and they did something and they left things and then they were gone. And that's it. And they left markers either telling us this is where we're from or this is where you're going. Those are the only two choices we have of those star maps that all these civilizations left behind. If they're either telling us we came from here or you're going to go there eventually. And that's it. That is all. They came, they had jobs, they taught us things. And this is true in the Egyptian culture, in the African American culture, in all these cultures that had gods, the Norse with Thor and Loki and all that stuff. They came down and taught things and had jobs. And then they left. They left for some reason. And what that reason is, I don't know.
I feel like a lot of media do not want to put that in there. Did you hear what he said a little bit earlier? Jon Proudstar said, hey, you are a god.
Right.
They're scared of, I'll be ranting about this a lot on here, John, about like how these characters are sometimes represented with black people. It's not the almighty powerful, you are God, you can bring down domestic I'll say you can bring domestic violence towards you can bring them down. You are a God. Don't, hey, that's not taught. It's almost ran away from. I didn't want to say that on here. I was tippy-toeing. I'm gonna just say it. They don't want that out there.
No, all the research I've done in ufology and UFOs and aliens and the encounters and everything, what's suspicious is some of the aliens they describe with dark skin. And if there is a direct connection between African Americans or Native Americans and these gods, would you want these people to know that that's where they came from? Would you want millions of African Americans knowing that they came from a different star system of advanced civilization and that they are gods? They came from gods. Or would you want natives and Latinos, which are the same thing? Latinos are indigenous. Would you want them to know that they came from an advanced civilization and the Caucasoid is the foreign gene on this planet? The Caucasoid is the mutated gene. You know, and I'm not, you know, I don't want anyone to think I'm a racist.
John, you could listen, man. Look, this is a place where you can speak freely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
no, and I love everyone. I love everyone. I love, you know, white, black, red, yellow, everything. I don't have I don't want to ever hate anybody for their race. But what I've discovered is that there are things they are hiding from us for a reason, and they've held us down. They've done things to our community, and you guys know. I know you guys know this. What they did to our communities on purpose to hold us down, to keep us back.
Hey, what was we talking about before we went on here?
We was just talking about that right before the show started. Swear to God, it's crazy.
Yeah, and and I always equated it to like showing up at somebody's house, and they're playing a game, a board game, and they say, "Okay, you can play, but we can't tell you the rules." And you're not going to get any of the benefits. You got to find that out on your own. And you're like, what? And, by the time you figured everything out, everyone's got all the little houses and the money and everything. And you're like, and they're like, yeah, you lost. You suck. And it's like, well, you didn't tell me the rules. You didn't give me the rule book.
And you got the broke controller. They got you the broke controller, too.
Yeah.
In charge of the nut.
And it's happening over and over again. The more opportunity you give to our people, the more we excel. The stronger we're getting, the better we're getting. It's being proven over and over and over again. And, it used to just be in sports. And, now those sports players are starting to realize it's not about having 10 cars and a mansion or anything. It's about going back into your community and educating kids and creating programs for, food programs and helping single mothers and drug addiction and all that. It's that's the important thing, not having 10 cars, that you can't drive. You can only drive one at a time. But these football stars and basketball stars are starting to realize that it's community. It's that's the real effect. That's real wealth right there, not just balling.
Yeah. Bobby, you had a question about that thing we was talking about.
Yeah, man. So I think before we do that, man, I think we need to just shift over to reservation dogs.
Hold on, let me get something out the way real quick.
Okay, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, calm down. You better calm down, man. Don't do that.
So so when ThunderEagle, right, the astronaut seen him, they was like, damn, what is that? The nigga say, damn, that's a man, right? So we all about the scraps. So when I seen ThunderEagle fly like that, I said, damn, I wonder if he'd be Superman ass. So since we got the creator, on here.
There we go.
I see what he just did.
Superman 1v1 ThunderEagle.
I see what you just did. Hey, you ain't shit, by the way. Go ahead. Yeah,
well,
see, I knew that was waiting for me.
I love Superman, but ThunderEagle is a god. He has been alive much longer than Superman, and he's had more battles. He just, if we're talking about boxing, he just has more ring experience than Superman because he's a god. And Superman was artificially created. He was created because he came to this universe and it was a different star. ThunderEagle is able to, he can travel throughout all the universes and no stars affect him.
I'm sorry, with a quickness he could do that.
Yeah, time space. He time space jumped. I peeped that.
Yeah. He can do that. He can do a space-time jump because he's a god and only the gods could do that. Superman can't. He has his limitations. And but before Superman, before Hercules and all those, we had our gods. Our gods were powerful. The African gods, the Native American gods, the Chinese gods. What happened to them? Where did they go? They just suddenly disappear. They were wiped. They were systematically wiped out from memory and education because they didn't want us to know. They want us to believe their story about a guy that looks like Kenny Loggins who can walk on water and make thousands of fish. But we say something about our people, our stories, and they're like, "Oh, that's ridiculous." Oh, sorry,
Hey, danger zone.
Hey, yeah, man. Hey, hold on. Yeah, Kenny Loggins, that's my guy, bro.
Nah, he looked like Kenny Loggins. He looked like Kenny Loggins.
No, okay.
Well, come on, man. Do you remember that? I don't know if you guys ever watched Good Times. You remember Good Times? Did you ever watch Good Times?
Yeah.
sir.
Remember the episode called Black Jesus? Remember Black Jesus?
No.
When Jimmy Walker painted a picture, he painted a picture of Jesus as a black man, and it caused a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
But that's the truth of the matter, that Jesus would have been dark skinned with dark curly hair. And you put that picture up, I'm sorry, they're not going to worship that man. But you put Kenny Loggins or Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you know.
Hey, let me show y'all a fire pic, and it kind of reminds me of what you just said right now. The way he's standing tall right here is like, you can't fuck with me. You can't fuck with me.
Yeah.
None of y'all can fuck with me. That's what I get.
Guns out, bro.
Well, that's how he's fighting a black hole in that scene. He's resisting a black hole, that's how he works out. That's kind of sort of how he tests himself. Yeah,
Superman gets slapped on up. Yeah,
and you know what I like when my man's who was doing the graping, so he busts down the door and he like choking him, and he was like, "Yo, I hope you repented." And he was like, yeah. He was like, good. Let that be your comfort on the way there, nigga. I said, yikes. This nigga shit.
Yeah, no, that was the warrior way, you know, and researching all the warriors that I have in my life, you know, what the warriors did for our community, you know, that's what they did. They protected the children. They fed the elders, you know, they fed the elders, protected the children. That was their job. It didn't necessarily have anything to do with war. But you know, when it came time for that, we were ready. But at the end of the day, their job was to take care of the children and to take care of the elders. And when you have something in your community that's an aberration or that's predatorial, you know, it has to be dealt with. And, you know, like I said, he's a god, so he has no compunction for our laws, the laws of humans.
Yeah. And not only that, that's what a man does anyway. You know what I'm saying? The man, he take, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna go out.
That's what a Mayan does.
Huh?
This
Say that again.
Go ahead.
No, what do you say?
That's what a Mayan does. That's what you sounded like.
Mayan.
That's
no, that's
what
Mayan.
You said Mayan?
That's what a man. Hey, a Mayan. Hey, that's what. But like, that's what we do though. We go out. We're brave the elements. You know what I'm saying? To make sure the family's okay. And if somebody pull up, we gonna pull up too. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
so that's part of being a warrior. Like you gotta be able to encompass all of those things, right? It's just
because the boy had me pissed off. The nigga in the comic book had me mad for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? I already knew he was a piece of shit. Like when he was like, "Oh, tell me how to raise my kids and shit." I was like, "This nigga's a piece of shit." And then when I seen that shit, I was mad as hell. I was glad ThunderEagle clapped his ass. I ain't gonna lie.
This commercial right here.
Oh
hey, if you don't like it, just leave. You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out Jon Proudstar, the satire of that, the realism of that commercial. Oh, beautifully done, sir. Your writing is hey. I fucks with you, my guy.
Thank you.
Colonial Americans. What's a colonial American?
Well, in this alternate world, they pay homage to the original 13 states that they created, the colonists that came in and colonized America. So their mindset is more of colonization, and that's why I called it colonial America, to remind people of where this all started, how it all started, and that's why, you know, I brought the Buffalo Soldiers back. You know, it's an all African American group of soldiers. They're high tech soldiers, and you're bound to the Buffalo Soldiers for life. You cannot leave. You can only leave in a coffin. So it's kind of sort of the same thing that they did to the African Americans back in the day. They couldn't hunt down Geronimo. Geronimo was running the cavalry in circles. There was over 30,000 cavalry members hunting 17 Apaches that they couldn't get. until they brought the Buffalo Soldiers in, which were African American soldiers, because the African American soldier could ride twice as hard as the white man. And they were the ones who figured out that Geronimo was able to evade them because he knew where all the water holes were. And they said, well, if you find all the water holes and station troops there, he'll eventually have to surrender because they won't have water anymore. And it was the Apache who named the Buffalo Soldiers the Buffalo Soldiers. It wasn't the white man. It was the Apaches who called them Buffalo Soldiers. But I wanted to bring that element back because that's history that's being forgotten. That's history that, you know, it's being forgotten how they used minorities against one another. And I know when people hear me talk, they probably say, oh, this guy, he's anti-American. I'm not at all. I love this country because any other country, I may not be able to say what I say. So I love the freedoms of this country, but you know, we have to be who we report to be, who we tell the rest of the world that we are, that we're a free society. So we should be allowed to talk about the bad things that happen in our history. You know, and if we don't constantly remind them of how all this started, what we had to go through and where we are, we're going to forget and it's going to repeat itself. So that I think you know, and I'm the same way with the whole, you know, the Civil War stuff and the Nazi Germany stuff. I don't think we should eradicate it. I think it should be in museums. But you can't, if you cauterize it, if you make it disappear, we're going to forget and it'll happen again.
Yeah. I thought it was crazy. I'm about to say this. It's kind of crazy. But when he burnt my man, well, not my man, when he burnt that Buster, that punk ass Buster, he reached out. That the way it was drawn and the caption on it, it's like he reached out for the same person that he was been messing over for all this time. Yeah. As he burnt alive, he retched for the same. I thought that was like, yeah. That is beautifully put. And she watched him. That is a powerful thing I saw when I read it. I was like, wow. Because that in that moment, you must come back to who your inner self is.
Yeah. And there's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying? None.
Yeah, I've worked with survivors of child molestation for over 32 years. And I've buried 17 children in my career. And those 17 children died because of they were survivors, you know, for a time. But it's heartbreaking when you bury a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, a young person like that, and the community doesn't do anything about it. They hide it. They sweep it under the carpet. And this is indicative in a lot of Native communities. Things are changing. And the whole reason one of the big reasons I did Tribal Force was to create a space where I could utilize comic books to talk about survivors and talk about what's going on the reservation. So, you know, I know it's uncomfortable for some people and some people may not like it, and that's fine. But that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why it took so long, because publishers wanted nothing to do with talking about survivors of child molestation, talking about violent youth offenders, talking about fetal alcohol effect. Gabriel, Little Bighorn, he has fetal alcohol effect. He can't speak. He only uses sign language. And these were the things that all the publishers wanted me to take out. You know, Marvel wouldn't touch me with a 20-foot pole. Image wouldn't touch me with a 20-foot pole. DC, none of them wanted me, because when they saw that subject matter, they were like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah, and it's like the why. Yeah, it's like, why would you not want that story told? These are real stories.
Yeah, timing is everything.
And it's my story, motherfucker. It's mine.
That puts a that puts a different outlook on Image, because they're supposed to be the primary supporters and publishers of independent artists and comic creators. That's crazy.
That last says it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
It's
Wow.
supposed to be.
they
Look at what
treated,
you do when you do it yourself. Go ahead,
yeah,
Preston.
they wanted nothing to do with me, man. You know, I talked to them all. I met them all at the cons, and I literally pleaded with these guys, especially Image, because I wanted to go with them.
Mhm.
And when our first book came out, people were going up to the Image booth asking them for Tribal Force. They thought it was a Image comic book, and then they came to us. It was Silvestri, I think it was Silvestri who came to
Oh, okay.
us.
Mark.
Oh,
Shit.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and he said, "Hey, everyone's coming up to our booth asking for your book," and that's when we started talking. And I talked to him about Ripclaw, and I gave him a little crap because I said, "You know, what tribe is Ripclaw from?" And he's like, "Well, we don't want to say." And I'm like, "What do you mean you don't want to say? That's, you know, Native people, we're waiting, you know." And I said, "If you need help, I'll help you sketch out what tribe he's from. I can, you know, I'm doing the research for my own book." He never reached out to me, but you know, Image was quite clear that they would not touch me. And you know, DC, I think it was a guy named Conway, Danny Conway. I'm not 100% sure, but he told me straight out, yeah, they're not going to touch you because your subject matter, talking about child molestation and fetal alcohol syndrome. Yeah, no. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, you got to take all that stuff out. And then I've been approached by movie companies, animation studios, and they want, you know, they want to make those big changes. They want me either to put a white hero in there with the group or have a native character that looks a little more Caucasian. Yeah, they proposed all this stuff to me. I've been offered lots of money, and you know, it's hard when you're broke and you know you're working crap jobs and somebody comes and offers you all this money and Hollywood comes a calling or whoever, and you know in your heart, I could put this out there, but it's just going to be a pile of crap and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to have the effect that I wanted it to have. It's not going to speak to my people. And I walked away from it. Yeah, I walked away from it.
What role would a white hero play? I don't understand that goal. Like, what role would a white hero play in Tribal Force?
I have no idea. They just said, well, can't there be a half white character? Or, you know, they wanted me to tone it down. I was being, you know, too loud for them or too uppity for them. And they didn't like that. You know, they wanted something that the general population could consume. You got to understand, this was the 90s. There had been no native anything, you know, other than Thunderbird, Brave Star. You know, I think they wanted like a Brave Star kind of thing that they could make merchandise and sell it to little kids. You know, they didn't want to hear all this other talk about, you know, kids being molested and stuff like that. They didn't care about that. They cared about money and marketing and merchandising and, you know, which I get. I totally understand it. And we can still do the same things with Tribal Force that you can do with the Avengers or the X-Men. We can make the merchandise and still have these topics that are important to my people.
How much do I talk about it? Hey, I talk about it all the time on here, man. It's getting me kind of hot. You don't need to take away. You don't need to protect. Why are you protecting me from something? Why are you protecting me? I don't want your protection. I want to see it. Yeah, you don't have to make it PG-13. You don't have to.
I mean,
story, man.
How many movies have we seen about the Nazis, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we can watch. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I can tell you how many movies.
Sisu. We just watched Sisu, and they had to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, you don't have to butterfly it up. Great comic. I'm here to say, Jon Proudstar, you got what we call over here a banger, my boy. You got a banger over here, my guy. Hey, it's fire. I can't wait for issue 3, man. Hey,
wait till you see issue 3.
Hey, I done ran through these about like 4 times. I'm not even gonna lie. Fire.
Yeah, issue 3, man. It gets violent, man. We bring in a new character. You know, it's the introduction of Jaguar Knight, and he's crazy, and just other things. And then eventually, I think it's issue 5 or 6. where it's just a whole issue about the Buffalo Soldiers and how they were created, and you learn who each character is. I didn't create the Buffalo Soldiers to be throwaway characters. I wanted them to be human characters, and each one had their own story and where they came from. Because I want you to care about these guys. I want you to realize, why they're doing what they're doing. They're being forced into it. And just like the old Buffalo Soldiers, it was like, you want to be a slave or do you want to be a Buffalo Soldier? Do you want to go out into the world where nobody wants to hire you or pay you regular wages, or you can join the army and hunt Native Americans and get paid a hell of money and have a respectable job? And they were at odds. Even the Buffalo Soldiers of that time were at odds. They felt bad because they realized, like, man, it's like they felt like they were hunting their own kind, which they were, but what choices were they given back then? And this is the dichotomy that we need to discuss, with our young people coming up, what we had to go through, this is where we came from. This is why we are where we're at right now. And if we don't know our past, then it will repeat itself.
It was created and written by you, sir, Jon Proudstar.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Penciler Chris Williams. Inks Jake Eisenberg. Is that how you say it? Yes. Okay. Hey, these fellas, yeah, you linked up with some beasts. So we got a beast writer that linked up with some beasts, and now we're making a beast of a comic. I am excited to what to come. This is off the chain, and I want to say, this kind of dug in my whole comic book want, like Santa was saying earlier. This the like I want this the stuff I want. You know what I'm saying? Like I talk about it on here all the time. How like they mild everything down. Like nah. Let's talk about it all. Let's get it all.
Well, when I was a kid, when I was like 8 years old, I remember, like even younger, when I would go to the magazine rack and I would pick up my grandmother. It was just me and my grandmother, so I could buy 4 comic books, or she would let me buy 1 magazine. And that would either be a Conan magazine or a Mad magazine. But the Conan I always wanted because there was the promise of nudity sometimes.
Yeah, Conan gets busy, though.
Yeah. And no, there was nudity, there was people getting their heads chopped off, guys getting cut in half. And as a kid, I was just drawn to that. I was drawn to the taboo. And I love that. And that's what I want Tribal Force to be. I want it to be taboo. I want it to be hyper violent. I want, the blood squirting and so on and so forth. So, we'll see if I can survive, because we're not in that generation. I mean, but the new iteration of Conan the Barbarian that just came out by Titan, amazing, because they're keeping true to what Conan was. And it might not be popular. They may say, oh, he's a misogynist or whatever. It's like, well, yeah, he lives in a fictitious,
in a story, by the way. He lives in a story as well.
Yeah, he doesn't live in Scottsdale. He doesn't go to Whole Foods. He doesn't pay taxes. He swings a goddamn sword and steals shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does.
They're forgetting why we go to these things, why we go to movies and read these things, because it's escapism. Because these guys can do the things we're not allowed to do. We're not allowed to go pick up a sword and kill the bad guy. We go to prison if we do that. We're not allowed to do those things. That's why we enjoy those movies, because it gives us the sense of right, of the bad guys getting it in the end. And that's why we're attracted to that. But if you start to clean that up and just make it like, I don't want to see what I see every day in life. I want to see something different.
Right. We do this thing on the show called nigga explaining. So us niggas right here, we explain the comic to you. So we got an episode where we were talking about Lobo getting hired by the Easter Bunny to go kill Santa because he's making too much money. And I wrote that as a kid. As a kid, I wrote that. That was given to me. Lobo, let's get it cracked. There was no filter or none of that. And then he ended up being a molester of the dwarfs.
Oh,
and he was selling he was working for the United States government making nuclear weapons in Santa's factory. That's a crazy ass story that was told
I love it.
to a little ass child.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
want to know something? You want to know something crazy? I fucking loved it. I loved it.
Well, yeah,
It's
that's just
out
it.
there.
We're attracted to the taboo. We're attracted, I used to stay up late to watch Benny Hill. I don't know if you guys remember that. It might be a little before your time. But Benny Hill was a very, they considered it dirty comedy from England. And I would stay up or to watch David Letterman because every now and then somebody would cuss or do something raunchy. That was just the stuff. As a kid, you're attracted to it. When you find that your dad's stash of Playboys in the closet. I remember we found my dad's stash in the back of his 64 Chevy, man. We hit gold. We hit gold, man.
My dad's stuff was in the corner of the coats. So it was stuffed in the corner of the coats. I found it too.
And what about heavy metal? Y'all used to read heavy metal?
Yeah, heavy metal.
Yeah.
Heavy metal.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, that's our nature. That is just our nature, and I think, I don't know why they're trying to suppress that. I don't know why they're trying to change that, because it makes us who we are, and I never saw anything wrong with it. And,
It's a story.
it's a story, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I draw and write and create what I think people want to see and stuff that I like. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be writing it. I wouldn't be creating it. I like everything I put out. I like as a fan.
Amen to that. I feel that 1,000%.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna throw you some pictures so you can throw them up here, Dre. Hey, John, you also was in a magnifique series. I like you. Would you like to let our audience know what that series is?
Oh, that's Reservation Dogs.
Reservation Dogs, sir.
Reservation Dogs. I originally got cast to play the character Big, and Sterling had wrote that character for me. That's why they called him Big, because I'm like 6 feet tall. At the time, I was 256 pounds. I was a big guy, and so I auditioned. I got the role, and about, I want to say, a couple of days before I was supposed to fly out, they made me do a COVID test, and it came up positive. And there was nothing wrong with me. Like, I didn't even have the sniffles. And long story short, Disney had told them, you got to recast it because he's a liability now. We can't have him on set. So the biggest role of my life just got taken away from me. And Sterling said, he apologized vehemently. And the guy who plays Big Zahn, I've known Zahn since the 90s. He called me up and he felt really bad. And I said, no, man, I want you to knock it out of the park, and I was honored that they had picked Zahn because he's got like over 98 credits on his resume. So to me, that was like an honor that they picked somebody so experienced to take my place. And Sterling had promised, he goes, if we get picked up for series, we're going to come back for you. And I said, thanks, man. And this is right in the middle of the pandemic. So I'm stuck in my apartment. I'm not allowed to leave my apartment for like 12 days or 14 days. And I'm just stuck by myself after losing the biggest role of my life, of my career. But long story short, they did get picked up for series, and Sterling came back.
I'm sorry, John. You see that, Dre?
Yeah, I'm gonna fix it.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
It's something with my account mainly.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they came back, and I got cast to play Leon. And Leon was much more closer to who I am, because he's a dad and he's got a daughter. And that whole struggle between him and his daughter, she's slowly becoming a woman. She's coming out of being a kid into being a woman. That's what you're going through. You got that 15-year-old, and Leon's struggling with that because as I said before, women advance faster than us. You know, they catch, you know, little girls, our little daughters, you're going to turn around and she's going to be caught up to you. She's going to be, you know, doing adult stuff. And it's so hard. It's heartbreaking. They break your hearts 1,000 times.
And Willie Jack, though, I think, I hate to interrupt you, John. Willie Jack had me laughing through the entire 8 episodes, man. Whoever she is,
No, hold on. I got her.
Her comedic timing is crazy. Yeah. It felt very effortless for her, because I like she would say something and I'm like, what she just say? And then I just start busting out laughing. She's very
Paulina Alexis.
Yeah, and she is Willie Jack. That is her. When we're not filming, she cusses a lot, and I'm always telling her, like, Paulina, you're cussing, and she'll go, fuck, I'm sorry. And I go, you just cussed again. You know, and she's like,
so I mentor boys with the Pasquayaki tribe. Remember we was talking about this last time. And they remind me so much of my boys. Shout out to my boys. They remind me so much. Like it's crazy how someone from a different part of life can write your part of life, and something you've experienced part of life. And just being in the community with that tribe, I see the like, even down to the way they talk, and it's just so dope that when I see somebody writing culture, I felt culture being written. And my man that wrote it, what's his name?
Sterling.
Yeah,
Sterling. How you say that last name? Harjo.
Yeah, Sterling Harjo.
Yeah, Sterling Harjo. We talk a lot about representation on the show. How authentic did you feel like the culture was written in there?
Oh my God. Well, it wasn't just Sterling. There was, Taika, of course, and then he had a bunch of other writers, and all these writers, I got to meet them, and they are straight off the res, man. So everything they were writing, was coming from their life, experiences that they experienced that you can only experience when you come from that environment. And, and when you come from a ghetto, there's universal things that you get. There may be differences, like if you went to New York, of course, it's not going to be exactly like a reservation. But if you go to a ghetto in New York, you're going to have similarities, about, we had to take cold showers because we didn't pay the heat bill. The government food subsidies, stuff like that, the drugs and the alcohol that run rampant and all the stuff that comes with that when you have family members that are on that stuff. The relatives that are always hitting you up for a ride. You always got those relatives that never have a car, and they're always hitting you up for a ride.
Hey, the hot chips. The hot chips.
Yeah. Hot chips. Hot chips. Yeah.
The old nigga selling medicine outside the clinic. His shit said real medicine.
Hey. Shout out to Uncle, what's my man name? Uncle
Brownie.
Uncle Brownie. Hey, digging up old ancient time capsule weed and trying to get it off. That was fire. I know that uncle.
Hey, my man said some bitch weed. He say, man, we get our shit from the dispensary. That shit had me crying.
Hey, I'm looking at people that I know. We're not from the same culture. I know this person. This is my uncle. This is my Uncle Benny.
That's my like Uncle Willis. My pop smoked like that. He always trying to smoke some old ass weed. Like you can't smoke.
Hey, and the shit he was kicking the real shit. Hey man, hey, I want to know how was it like being around, because not everybody gets to be in something authentic made by you, presented by us. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get that. How was that? I gotta live vicariously, man.
It was amazing because we were all looking. There was a lot of actors that we had come up in the business together from the 90s. So seeing each other there at this final oasis for us, because it felt like we'd been crossing a desert since the early 90s, and we had lost a lot of actor friends, through death. and just looking at each other and giving each other that nod, and then seeing the money that they were putting behind this production. I mean, it was like an army. They had trucks, they had trailers, they had, you know, our dressing rooms were professional dressing rooms. And it's that thing that as a native, you dream about it all the time. And then when you finally get it, it gets a little scary, because you're like, man, what if we mess this up? What if we shoot this thing and it sucks and nobody likes it or nobody gets it? So we were scared. We knew the Indian community would love it because it was about us. We just didn't know about the rest of the world. But every day was just hilarious and funny, and it didn't even feel like we were working half the time. The way Sterling runs his sets, you know, it's just very, I don't know, it's just everyone's friendly, everyone's happy to be there. Nobody had attitudes or try to have movie star attitudes. And even when we brought people in that were in our eyes famous, you know, that we had seen in other TV shows and things like that, they were all chill, man. No star attitude or anything like that. And I'll never forget it. And yeah.
How was it working with Bill Burr? Because I like Bill Burr a lot as a comedian. Of course he's white, but I feel like he gets it. Like if you watch a lot of his stand up, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he gets it. How was it
He's
working
married
with
to a
him?
black woman, by the way.
Well, that makes sense.
That's why he gets it. No.
Yeah.
I didn't get to work with Bill Burr, you know, but everyone that did get to work with him said, you know, he was just chill, man. He was just, I mean, he was there with us, and, you know, no attitude. That was the most important thing. Everyone's kind of watching each other, especially the kids. We were really scared for the kids because so much fame and attention and money being injected into young people, it gets scary. You don't want to hear about them getting stupid or anything. And they kept their composure through all 3 seasons. You never saw them being idiotic or flaunting anything or thinking that they were these big movie stars, even though they were getting lots of attention. But Sterling had created this catalog of human beings that he wanted to work with throughout the years, and Reservation Dogs was his opportunity to bring all these, you know, it was like him bringing his Marvel and DC universe together. And we all finally got to work together. You know, I had seen these cats on movies all my life, and then getting a chance to be there with these legends was amazing, you know. And Sterling knew what he was doing by bringing all, you know, the old natives and the young natives together. You know, he was busting that ceiling, man. He broke the shit out of that ceiling. That was there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
So John, man. So I had a question, bro. So there's an episode where Big and Cheese are out in the middle of the field, right? So he wants to be, you know, a light horseman, and and you know, so Big has seen all those catfish out in the middle of the field. He's like, damn, all these, you know, what the fuck is all these catfish doing? And then they disappear, right? And then him and Cheese they out there in the middle of the field. He's like, yeah, I just seen these like hundreds of catfish in here in the field, and now they're gone. And he was like, he mentioned, he said, yeah, man, it might have been Tall Man. And the way he says it, so casual, right? Very, very casual. Like,
y'all see who in here? Y'all see who just entered the room? Bobby digging that horror bag. Go ahead.
But hold on. So
keep going.
So the thing is that, like, so then Cheese says, he was like, yeah, there's no scientific evidence for Bigfoot. And when Big says, like, really just cracked my head wide open, and obviously I don't mean no offense. He's like, man, you act like a white person. Because what I got from the show, like when they go to Uncle Brownie's house, I noticed certain things about how, you know, how they were just talking to each other about, you know, like, oh, like he does he know magic? Is he, you know what I'm saying? Does he, like, they were just talking about very, very casually, right? They go to Uncle's house, they have the owls, and they blurred out the owl's eyes, which was like the not only the detail, the cultural detail, but like what I got is that this is real. Everything that you like talking about tall man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a dude down the street. I get the I got the feeling that like this is real talk, because you know we live in a society where you know every Sunday people going to church. It's ridiculous for you to believe in certain things, right? You gotta believe in Jesus, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. But here it is, these two people they're talking about like dear lady, right?
Yeah.
Talking about
That was
casually.
Your lady was hilarious.
Yeah, but see, but Santo, like they're like it's real, and I got the feeling that this is a real depiction of somebody's real culture, and it's not the things that they're talking about it's not fake.
Well, no, Dear Lady was the girl with the boots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the hood. But that, see, we grew up in America. We were taught through white eyes, and the white people, unless it's written in a book and verified and it's empirical data, then that's the law. You know, hey, we proved it, our scientists proved it, or this is our religion. And that's the way we've all grown up. But in our culture, both African and Indian cultures, we've held on to things through art and music and our baskets, our clothing, the colors that we put on. Those things were held on to like little gems from our past to remember our gods. And it exists in our world. And it always has existed in our world. And that's the way we speak of things, because we do believe those things and they exist in our vision. But when the white people come into our world, they look at it as like, you know, a strange belief, or that can't be real because it's not quantifiable. It's not empirical data. But the hilarious thing about all that is for years, for hundreds of years, we've been telling the white man that the Indian was here in America, which is the original name for America was Turtle Island. We called it Turtle Island. And before there were planes, we called it Turtle Island. And the reason we called it Turtle Island is because from space, America and Mexico and Canada, it looks like a huge turtle. Now, how did our people know that to call it Turtle Island? When there were no planes, when there was nothing like that. And then we told them that we had been here for a millennia, you know, for hundreds of thousands of years. And they were like, well, that's not true. The evidence, the scientific evidence points to human beings being in America only 15,000 years. So how is that true? Your stories are true. They're not true because we just proved it wrong.
Yeah.
So then they find the bones of a skeleton and it takes it to 23,000 years. So all this time they were preaching to us, you guys only been here 15,000 years. Then they find a new skeleton. Oh, 23,000 years.
Yeah, you
and
lied.
And then they just found a structure. They just found a structure that's even older than that. So there were human beings here even past those timelines. So all this stuff that they kept telling us, trying to shove down our throats, was wrong. It was wrong. And all the arrows keep pointing back. And if you go back into the African mythologies as well, they knew about the Dagon tribe, knew about star systems that weren't visible to the human eye, that couldn't be seen until the 1970s because the telescopes weren't powerful enough. How did an African tribe know about a star system that you cannot see with the naked eye? You know, these are the questions that, you know, our people keep telling, you know, the white world, and they won't listen to us until they somehow can prove it, and then they can call it their discovery.
Or if
That's
it's
our
useful.
discovery. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Until they can package it up and sell it.
Then they put it on Ancient Aliens.
I might bring it down, but I have to talk about this. The show dealt with suicide. The thing I felt was so powerful was that narratively, no one knew why Danny escorted himself up out of here.
Yeah.
So like I thought it was like very powerful. I thought it was intriguing that there's a sense of confusion on how to grieve, like with everybody. Everybody didn't really know how to deal with it. And I thought like all the unanswered questions, and it puts you in the position of confusion with the characters, like you, the viewer. You're in, and I thought the way that was done was so magnifique, and it's being very prevalent in my favorite episode, season 1, I think episode 6, hunting, the one when you were
that's my favorite episode.
Your character is on the hunt with his daughter.
They're hunting Chunk.
Yeah, Chunk. And Leon says it. Your character Leon says it. I couldn't help him the way he needed to be helped. It's like he has his what he felt like he needed to be helped. She shows where how she felt, and nothing's the same. And it's all like because of that situation, nobody knows anything. And and just the way that was displayed, I thought was fantastic.
Well, it was beautiful because it showed how suicide affects a community and how, you know, some communities take a while to grieve and to let go of it. And, you know, in the native way, you're not supposed, when somebody dies, you're not supposed to speak about them for 4 days because it lets their spirit know that you're okay and they can go, they can move on. But sometimes that doesn't always happen. And I just, it was beautifully done. The writer whose life that was based on was there that night watching us do those scenes. The hardest scenes for me to do was with Daniel when I was loading the truck up. It was late at night, and it was the night that he did kill himself, and that he came to me and I didn't see it. You know, there was a moment where he's like, you know, are you okay? You know, he reaches out.
Bobby, was he not talking about this?
Yeah, I was talking about that. I was like, man,
now.
I was like, man, like he, you know, like hindsight is a motherfucker, like, cause he says, hey man, like you need any help? You know, like, and in that moment, you know, he needed that option, right? Because, you know, in suicide, when people come to that conclusion, they feel as if they don't have any more options. Right.
Yeah.
They're all out. They're all out. So they, you know, not that they want to. Sometimes, you know, just I think it really just depends on the person. But like they looking for that last little bit of hope. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just says, hey, come help me do this, or you know what, I need some help. You know what I'm saying? So you
Leon, I seen that a little different, Bobby. Leon sensed something was wrong.
Yeah.
But Daniel didn't give anything off.
Yeah, but I'm saying like from his point of view, though, from his point of view, like he was, you know, Daniel's looking for that one little thing. Do you like, hey, you need some help? Like, nah, I got it, man. Like, you know, you good. Just go ahead, go home, take a shower. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you know unless somebody tells you, right?
Yeah, you don't.
I want to say to you, Jon Proudstar, you motherfucking killed that shit, my guy. All of that, you killed that shit, man. You did nasty work. I'm an admirer of skill. I'm an MC. I'm an MC. I really write. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always admired the skill of a rapper, and I always admire the skill of a writer. I've always admired the skill of an actor, and that my friend, you bodied that, especially the scene with you and Paulina and when y'all was, oh man,
that was a hard scene to shoot, man. That was a hard, you know, because we shot it a couple of times, and I wanted it to be real, you know. So I was constantly thinking back to, you know, the days of me and my daughter. And when you become a dad, you can cry real easy. As soon as you become a father, a commercial will set you off, you know?
Yeah. Hey, man, you almost got me right now. You know that, man? Just thinking about that. Hey, almost got me. Yeah.
No, so, you know, we shoot it, and then you got to like backtrack and kind of suck it all back in so that it's new and fresh. And those emotions when they hit, and her words when they hit, you know, that it's new. And it was just hard. It was hard because my goal was to speak to other Native fathers who were struggling to be fathers. Because we were taught, you know, if you grew up in the 70s and 60s, you were taught to be tough, you don't cry, you don't show emotion, and especially if you're Native American, man. You know what? If you're a man of color, we've been brought up like, we're supposed to be hard as rocks. We don't cry, we don't shed tears. You know, we're not sensitive or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that's what our daughters need from us. They need that. And as a man, showing that to your daughter, that's the best gift you can give her, you know, to let her know that you have emotion, that you feel, that you can cry, you know.
Hey, John,
I
almost screamed in the mic, man. I'm sorry, man. I had to let you know I was about to scream in the mic when somebody is like kicking that shit. I scream, man. I just want to let you know, man. so you kicking that shit, my guy. Hey, man, because I feel you, man. It's like what you speaking. You raised a daughter. I'm in the midst of raising one. I'm hearing you, man. I'm like, man, you hitting my soul, man. I'm tripping out in here.
No, it's hard because everything that you know, everything that helped you survive as a man all these years is useless when you have a daughter. All those skills, fighting, being tough, your street smarts, that goes all out the fucking window when you have a girl. You know, the first time your daughter wants you to play Barbies and fake tea, your mind is like, I don't know how to do that. I know how to make ninjas. Let's go. I know how to make machine gun sounds. And you want me to sit down and you want to paint my nails.
I made the illest punch noise. I used to make the illest. I used to have a nasty punch noise.
I can do Bruce Lee, you know, like, oh.
And my daughter's finna be 18 in August, bro. I remember at one point in time when she was like 7, 8 years old. My son is a year older than her, so she was 7, he was 8. It was a point in time where she didn't used to wear nothing but ponytails, t-shirts, and hoop shorts because I didn't know how to shop for her, but I knew how to shop for my son. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I would just get her the same shit. So she was like, you know what I'm saying? So she would be in like hoop shorts and Nike shirts and you have little ponytails and shit. And then, you know, she started getting older. But one thing I will say, because she'll be grown in like 8 months, like, shit changes with a daughter. Like, you change, they change, like they go from this to this and this and this, and you don't know how to feel about, like, you know what I'm saying, the certain shit. But I did have a son. Like, having a son to be a year older kind of helped me through a lot of the harder shit, what I felt like I can't go choke a motherfucker, but my son can. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, that kind of helped me through that. But it does change you as a father dealing with a girl. Go ahead.
My daughter was really smart though, because she figured out how to utilize my skills. You know, she would take me to the little gatherings and she would be like, Dad, I can't tell which boys like me. And I go, oh, I'll tell you which ones like you. And I would spot them. I would clock them, you know, a mile away. I'm like, oh, that guy right there. I'm like, yeah, I go, that milk dud head over there likes you. And I was never wrong. Already. Yeah, she thought I was like a Jedi Knight. She was like, how can you tell? I go, well, because guys are obvious, you know, for other guys. That's what we're good at. I go, you know, like when I had a girlfriend, I could always tell my girlfriend which guys were trying to hook up with her that were her quote unquote friends. Right. And I like, he ain't your friend. He's just waiting for that moment I screw up so he can move in. He ain't your friend. He wants up in on you.
Everybody knows that unspoken language.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
especially
guys know that.
Just like the unspoken, just like the unspoken language, you know when a chick is looking at you that you know y'all feeling. There's an unspoken look that happens, like, okay, she feeling, I'm feeling. It's all unspoken, especially what we on the topic we on right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Santo, that's crazy. I didn't know your oldest daughter was about to be that old, because my oldest daughter is actually about to be 18 in July as well. And John, I'm about to make your stomach drop because I got 4 daughters. I got 4 daughters myself, and my 2 youngest ones, I'm actually about to celebrate their birthdays this weekend.
Yeah, I'm dead.
But hey, when it comes to daughters, everything changes.
Hey, you were punished, my
You-
guy. I'm sorry,
You
Yes,
were
man.
punished by God. God saw you playing around. He goes, "Oh, you like girls? You
Yeah.
like girls?
The
Okay,
Orisha came. They came down to this dimension. They was like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm out of here.
Look, my guardian angel was like, "I see you, motherfucker."
Yeah.
Hey, can we
He's
do
like,
something?
oh, check out. Yeah. Go ahead.
But real quick, I want to speak on like just to end this the vulnerability that like everybody talking about.
What's happening?
Shout out to my daughter.
What did you just do right now? Go ahead, Bobby. You got something to say, man?
No, I stay here. Let me get this off real quick.
You just gonna hog the Proudstar, man?
No, man. I just want to talk about the vulnerability of a man and daughter. I'm trying to speak on all that, man.
I just want to talk about the vulnerability. Yo, no, fuck what you talk about.
Hey, no, man, because hold on,
hey,
man.
We said when we got here we was gonna share.
Yeah. No, real talk, man. Like I don't have a daughter, right? But I'm just saying, like all y'all sharing that. That's I like and then equating it with the scene, right? Because it takes a certain vulnerability for a man to be with his daughter, and just hearing all you talk about it and reflecting on the scene, you know, is it takes a certain vulnerability that for a man that we just not used to. And
is we talking on here? Because I want to get over here with my daughters. I don't know about y'all.
Get over. Yeah.
Well, so
Dave Chappelle talked about his mom because Dave Chappelle said in one of his sets that he was a very sensitive kid, you know, always crying over everything, very sensitive young boy. And his mother told him that it's okay to be a lamb, but you have to learn how to be a lion so you can be a lamb.
Right.
And I thought that was so profound, you know, because you know, that's true. We have to be the lions, you know, but at the same time, especially when you got a daughter, you've got to show that other side. You've got to, or else there's going to be a void, you know, there's going to be an absence in your daughter's life, and she's going to be daughters look for somebody that reflects their father. And if you're a badass motherfucker that doesn't show emotions and you're throwing knuckles all the time, guess what she's going to end up with? A badass motherfucker throwing knuckles all the time that's going to end up in prison. And you know, she's going to look, if you can be sensitive with her and understanding and show that other side of yourself, that's what she's going to be looking for. It may not come out quick, like when they're teenagers, but as they get older, they're going to realize, okay, these guys are knuckleheads. I need somebody like my dad. You know, my dad could be tough, but at the same time, you know, he let me paint his nails and he played tea with me and he played with my Barbies with me. And they're going to realize the value of that compared to some idiot that, you know, just thinks, you know, being a dad is being tough and spanking your child.
I couldn't even whoop my daughter. It was one time where my daughter and my niece, they was fucking around, right? And that was the first and last time I ever had to whoop her. I had to whoop her and my niece at the same time, and I felt so bad. But I always felt like my son he used to get on me about that shit. He used to be like, man, you always on her side, you always let her get away with shit, because I used to fuck him up. You know what I'm saying? but I couldn't fuck her up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just I couldn't bring myself to do it, you know. But her mom can for sure.
I wanna real quick. I wanna Sarah Podmitsky. Is that how you say her name? From
Podemsky, yeah, Sarah Podemsky.
Yeah. She plays Rita Smallhill.
Podemsky.
Mom. Yeah, Podemsky. Yeah, I'll pretty much lick her pancreas. Yeah. She's bad. She's a baddie. She's a baddie.
You broke up.
Wow. He said he wanted to lick her pancreas.
Yeah.
He said shoot her a kite for him. He's trying to lick some pancreas.
Yeah.
Hey, she is
I
That's why I
have
put that out there, man.
I have to act around her. I've got to work around her, and she's so beautiful. I mean, she's so beautiful. But here's the cool thing about her: she's funny as hell. She's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her sister plays my wife, and the other one, Tiny, the girl who plays Tiny, is the third sister. There's three of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, they're funny. They're funny women, and they're big. They're big time. Yeah, they're big time in Canada. Like they're very involved in Canadian film and all that other stuff. But yeah, she's god awful beautiful, man. And I got to be around that and pretend like I'm all slick and stuff, and I'm just dying.
Yeah, I got one question because we all got you for that long, man. Yeah. Can we get some lore on William Knife Man? Because he was one of the coldest niggas in the show. Like he'd pop up when my man's got hit with the paintball gun and he woke up and William Knife Man pulled up on the horse. I feel like we need some lore.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up. Yeah. Hey, fire.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with the native spirits and gods. There's times when he was funny, but when he got straight and he got serious, he was cold, man. You were like, damn.
Irritated.
And that was what I liked about that characterization. When it was time to get serious, he got dead serious, and you were kind of left in shock because he wasn't the funny guy anymore. And you're like, yeah, that was kind of mean, or that was straight up cold. But that's the quintessential warrior. That's the guy you want to be. I'm
so glad you said that. Woo.
Yeah, he said he was like I don't have any.
This is how he teaches.
Yeah,
this is his way of teaching.
I don't got no answers. I don't have any answers. Yeah. I got a whole bunch of questions for you. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like you got to figure this shit out on your own. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like here are these things in front of you. Now you gotta walk through it.
Right. That nigga said, I wasn't none of those guys. He was like, you talking about the nigga you talking about? He was like, I ain't none of them. But I am William Knife Man, though. And I said, this nigga funny,
he was like, hey, man, every time you always popping up and scaring me. Every time when I want some information, you don't want to give it to me now. Hey, that dude had me dying. Real quick.
Yeah, no, he was great.
Somebody echo? Who was that? Who's echoing?
Yeah, where's the echo?
Yup. Okay, it's gone now. Oh, no.
Bobby, say something.
Is that you, John?
I don't know. Is it me? Can you hear me? Hello?
No, say it. Yeah, somebody is. Oh, no, it's there.
Yo.
Hello.
Yo.
Okay, so you muted, John. Let's see. We're gonna figure this out real quick.
Hey, this like a motherfucker in the PlayStation chat that be echoing.
I think they're trying to flag this, John. I think go ahead, mute yours, and let's see what happens.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Muted.
Hello. How about now? Yes.
Did you mute your mic?
I didn't mute anything. I'll mute my mic right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute right now.
Yo.
Yep.
It's you. You're the culprit.
We're echoing through your phone or something.
We got you, man.
Yeah. No, I'm going through my phone. Yeah, I'm not all high tech like you guys.
Hey, so hold on. Oh yeah, we're gonna power scale Dear Lady. Is Dear Lady is some type of that's gonna throw me off. We gotta figure out. So try this real quick, John. Go out and then come right back in.
All right, let me see.
Hope you jump back in. I'm about to power scale Dear Lady, just so y'all know.
Hey, man. You was cooking. Hey, that boy cooking, ain't he?
Hey, tall man. He
man.
just still fishes. I don't know, so we're gonna have to get some behind the scenes information about tall man because he might get washed.
No, but tall man was on their ass though the whole time. His tall man stealth is outrageous.
His stealth is on.
Man, but Dear Lady got 16 ruthlessness, bro. She let them others in the puddle, didn't she?
And she got +5 toilet paper service.
Toilet paper.
Okay, so we in here. We gonna power scale Dear Lady real quick. Is she based in any lore, any folklore?
Yeah, no, it's
okay. Go ahead.
yeah, that's in several tribes in the northeastern tribes, I believe. The Deer Woman was really popular. Not so much in my area of the country. We had different types, but we get the whole idea behind Deer Woman. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna power scale the one that was in Reservation Dogs. You tell us true or not. So and Tall Man. So how we do this is based on what we saw. We play a game called War. Based on what we saw, we about to power scale or state abilities or feats to compare who belongs and who don't belong. So real quick, Santo, you said that Tall Man got some
+50 stealth.
+50 stealth.
Because there was a scene when Proudstar was walking through the woods with his daughter, which another funny scene when they was he was like the Texas Rangers bought it and they seen the two white dudes when they was walking by. Did you hear the shit that the white dudes was talking about, bro?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, those gays, hey, them white dudes were going crazy. But Tall Man was there. He was right, he was behind the tree and they showed the shot like from over his shoulder. So
and Leon is a hunter, so he would have got your average person creeping up on him. So that's a little bit more than +50 stealth. That's like
well, hold on though. But Dear Lady though, right? Plus she got like a +16 charm, right? You know what I'm saying? People gonna pick her up off the street. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, like, I need to hit a bench in the middle of the street, didn't he? And then he seen Dear Lady and turned the fuck around.
Yeah, like,
how is she as a fighter? As a fighter?
No,
hold on. I'm asking Proudstar as a fighter.
How are we gauging it? What are we, 1 to 20 or what?
Okay, so it's +100 to +0.
Okay.
So imagine playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. The highest we went on Dungeons and Dragons was 18. 18 was the highest you could get on a score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm really nerding out.
Yeah, exactly. In the Rebellion,
hey,
we go to 100
over here. We D&D.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we're on her as a fighter.
As a fighter, wow. Yeah. From 1 to 18, I would definitely give her. She's what you would call a demigod. So she's up there. She's got to be 18 plus.
Oh.
You know. Yeah.
She was lightning fast reflexes. My man was right behind her with that buyout. Like, you know what I'm saying? She turned around. She had the toilet paper and she turned around and killed both of them niggas. So that's lightning fast. When you can dodge a bullet at point blank range, you know what I'm saying? That's lightning fast reflexes.
Yeah. Definitely. Lightning fast.
So Tall Man is pretty much out of here on a scale of if they met.
Well, it depends on the location. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they in the convenience store, Dear Lady might fuck them up. But if they in the woods, though, Tall Man might get it.
Yeah.
What you got, Proudstar? What you got?
Hey, man, but she got them antlers, man. That's like that's like a +16. That's like a +14 weapon, though, ain't it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It looked like Tall Man. It looked like Tall Man might have heat vision though. You seen his eyes?
Oh yeah, I did.
Hey, hold on. Mites don't work in the Rebellion. It's not a mite. So we got to go to the source. We got to go to the source.
Night vision, though.
Hold on, we got to go to the source. Would that be fire or would that be night vision, sir? Hey, you determine it in here, man.
I would have to go with the night vision, man. I would say that he has multiple optical ranges, just like the Predator.
That's fine.
Hey, and so we give it names too. So what you call it, multiple optical ranges? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, so I got Dear Lady on that one, man.
All right.
Well, where's the location though? I'm saying though, because we
got
really
Dear
don't
Lady,
know the Tall Man.
Hey, she got the shoes that throw everybody off. The shoes that distraction, they plus 18 distraction. Right?
She got at least +16 agility too. She got the little deer ups. You know what I'm saying?
And
but Tall Man has strength.
Hold on, back up. What do you got? Proudstar? What do you got?
Tall Man has strength. If you read the stories of things that are left behind by Tall Man, it's very reminiscent. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or the Wendigo. You know, so yeah, he has strength on his side.
Stealth and strength. That's a problem.
Yeah. Hey, so he might fuck around and choke their lady out. I ain't gonna take them antlers. Hey, them antlers might not work. Them antlers might not work on tall men.
That's
so
right.
real quick before we get on up out of here, John, and thank you for coming to kick it with us. We play this game called Culture or Vulture. And where we have our Rebellion 5 DA Santo is that nigga Santo. That's what he is.
That nigga Santo.
He's our DA over here. And he searched for material within the 5 pillars to see if we might be being disrespected or exploited, etc. He presents it to us, and we make a majority decision on if it's culture or if it's vulture. Vulture meaning you're trying to exploit it, you're treating it badly, or culture actually giving it to us. And I'm a vote culture on that reservation dog. That was fire. And we got the source. We got the source right here. So that's just culture all through that show. So he sniffed out an episode of Marvel, MCU, Disney show What If. And with the experience of Marvel and what I've had, I'm not speaking for everybody, but what I've had was they don't treat black people too well over there. So I'm gonna always vote Vulture. But he sniffed out an episode, season 2, episode 6. Drake, could you give me the name of that episode? He sniffed that out, and he wanted to bring it here to ask you if you would think this is culture or vulture. Right? So, Santo, you had the floor, sir.
So I ran across. So like EXO, Marvel. You can miss me with a lot of that shit, but some of that shit I feel compelled to watch because I like Marvel, or I love Marvel. That's how I say. So I ran across a Marvel superhero in the What If series. I believe her name is Kaori. And
did you get an opportunity to see that, John?
I didn't get a chance to see it, but I saw the character. It's the one with the shiny lines all over.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happens?
What if Kaori shaped the world?
What if Kaori shaped
the
world?
So if I'm not mistaken, I believe Odin had threw like the reality gem from wherever the fuck he was, and it landed on Earth, right? In this lake. And it was somewhat of a portal. So all of the Native Americans who go to this lake, where they get sucked into it, but it's inside the reality gem, right? So everything that they eat and they consume inside of this gem is a piece of the reality stone. So like they have these powers and all of this shit.
They went to an oasis, like a heaven.
Yeah, it was like buffaloes and shit,
like happy hunting grounds.
Yeah, but it was different tribes of niggas. Because I remember the one nigga asked her, he was like, "Yo, are you a turtle?" She's like, I think she said, "Nah, I'm not a turtle. I'm like a wolf or some shit." And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's all good. I'm gonna smoke your ass anyway." When she was trying to get to the portal by building those logs and shit. But it was a lot of lore because I went and looked some stuff up about the tribes that they were speaking about. And I wanted to ask you if you thought that it was culture, like was they making a lot of this shit up, you know, for the sake of Marvel, or is it based on something real?
I mean, it's hard for me to answer since I didn't see it, but Marvel has a tendency to do that, to appropriate, and they bastardize things. And I mean, I haven't seen Echo yet. I can't wait to see it. I really love the concept, and I love the actress who's, you know, playing Echo. But I don't. Marvel, I'm sorry, man. Marvel just has struck out every time with me when they use our culture because they have no idea of the responsibility behind it. And that's what they're lacking in everything that they do when it comes to natives. If they can make it look flashy and bastardize it so it fits their storyline, they're fine with that. But they don't understand the repercussion of it. They don't understand that that's our responsibility as storytellers, native storytellers. We're the caretakers of their stories, not them. Those stories don't belong to them. They can't just take our things and use them at will. That's not right. And they've done that. They're doing it with us. They're doing it with the African American culture. They're bastardizing it and they're profiting from it. And yeah, I don't agree with Marvel, and that's Marvel's own fault because they have a poor record when it comes to the treatment of Native Americans and the understanding of why we hold things sacred. I heard that they had technical advisors and things like that on board, but I'm sure if one of them had made a major complaint or said no, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me, Marvel has always been a vulture. So unfortunately, I would have to say Vulture.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I also want to say creative control. I asked the brother this. Shout out to Rod. We met at Albuquerque Comic Con. I'm gonna ask you as a creator as well. As far as creative control, somebody wants to make your stuff into something. Where is your leniency compared to to no, you're not changing nothing? Where would you lie at? You could power scale it if you wanted, plus 18. Where you at? If you, what are you not willing to bend on when it comes to creative control, and or if you are willing to bend or not? Like if somebody wanted to make if Marvel came to you right now and was like, yeah, we're gonna make this into an animated series, where are you not going to let out of 100? Where are you not going to let them change?
Who's that? Me?
Yeah, you.
Me?
Yeah, I'm talking about Tribal Force.
Oh, on Tribal Force, I mean, it all depends. If they're coming to me for a Saturday morning cartoon geared for kids, I get that they're not going to want to have those heavy tone messages in there. And then I would rely more on culture for that. But it's the cultural aspects of it that we cannot change.
Mm-hmm.
The symbology on ThunderEagle, the symbol on his chest comes from the Paiute medicine man Wavoka, and it's the ghost dance. It's from the ghost dance. And eventually Nita will wear the symbology of Earth, of Mother Earth. Jaguar Knight, his uniform is from the Jaguar Knights from the Aztecs. Little Bighorn, he's Hunk Papa Sioux, and his origins come from that culture. Those are the things that we can't bend on, because then it's homogenized. And it kills the whole reason for Tribal Force even being. The reason Tribal Force is there is to teach not only Native kids but the world about the Native culture. And without culture, it's nothing. You can slap it on a Happy Meal box then, and that's not what I'm here to do. And I want to make money just like the next person, but I have responsibilities to my culture, to my people, to the Native American people, people from tribes that I'm not a member of. I consider it a responsibility to put something out there that they will be proud of, that I will be proud of, that's representative of our people. I have to think about that all the time. And it's the Native way isn't about getting rich for yourself. The elders don't understand wealth like that. If you live on a reservation and you won the lottery and you built a huge house for yourself and bought a new car and all this stuff, the elders wouldn't understand that, because that's not helping the people. If you were to get rich and somehow help the people in your community, they would understand that type of wealth, but not singular, singular wealth like that, because how can you be wealthy when your people are suffering?
Exactly. Exactly.
I want to say, if you haven't read it, read it now or get scrapped.
Go and get
Tribal
you some.
Force. Tribal Force is off the chain. Jon Proudstar, Chris Williams on the art. Hey, John. Hey, so I do this to a lot of our guests. You got to get the same treatment, man. Hey, if you don't come back, I might have to pull the strap out on you, man. You know what I'm saying? I have to say, hey, come with me, man. You know what I'm saying? So you got to come back, my guy.
Yeah.
Hey,
anytime, man. You guys are great, man.
2 years in the making, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
A long time, man. Long time.
Hey, please, hey, fire. Pick that up. Tribal Force issue 1, 2. Do we have a can you break a little news on here? You got when we got a 3 with the 3 number 3.
Oh my God. Well, hopefully, God willing, in the next week or two, we'll get Chris started on issue 3. And so it's in the works. We are in the works of doing it, and Tribal Force is available at machinecomics.com.
Put that in the chat, Ray, please.
Say that one.
Say again?
No,
it's Machine.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Machine Comics, comics with an X.com. And for those of you who want to contribute financially, I'm on Buy Me a Coffee. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. But you can contribute to, it's basically buy a coffee for $5, and I basically get that money, and that money goes towards getting issue 3 done, basically.
Fire. Hey, I'm in the building. I'm in there. I'm
all
in
right.
There. I'm in there, my guy. Thank you, John. Hey. Like I said, remember what I said, man. You know what I'm saying?
Did I spell that wrong?
Anytime.
Is it Machine
Anytime.
Comics? Like that?
Yeah, Machine Comics, and comics is COMIX.
Oh, IX.
Yeah. Put that up right before we have to scrap you, Dre. Before me and Proudstar scrap you, man.
Right. And for those who missed it, we already established that ThunderEagle is putting the pause on Superman. So, if he putting the pause on Superman, that means he putting the pause on Goku too. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, hey,
that's fact. Hey, that's fact. Yeah. Hey, that's fact. That's fact.
Hey, thank you, John, man.
Yeah.
Hey, and
all right, thank you guys, man. I really appreciate it.
Man. Thanks for coming through, bro.
All right, you too, man. All right,
man. Hey, man. My guy Jon Proudstar then came through with a banger, and it is hey man, I'm gonna need this in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one of them ones. Hey, independent artist, independent story writer. Hey, come on, man. Hey.
I should have asked him about a graphic novel. Who might need a graphic novel up out of there, something I can read.
It's going down. You know they're gonna put them together. Man. They're gonna put them together.
What you call them?
It's like 6 issues in. 10
trade paperback is what it's called. So 4 of them will be a trade. Well, 5, probably 5 will be a trade paperback. Kind of like manga.
Yeah.
Speaking of manga, I got that Blue Lock.
Oh, you the artist, bro? I didn't even know that.
Oh, snap. Hey, Chris.
C-Dub?
Hey, you nasty with it, homie.
Oh, shit. Hey, you did your thing. You did your thing on. Hey, one of my favorite, when the motherfucking, when Lil Bighorn got his powers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about the last couple pounders?
When Lil Bighorn got his powers. And then the lady came and he was like, I can't even look at you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, it's okay, you can look at me. He kept saying I'm not worthy and shit. And then she gave that nigga his powers, bro. That shit was drawn so.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna show you I have to, before we get off here, I have to show you this real quick.
It was drawn so crazy. You could just see the bottom half of her, like all you could see was the bottom half of her mouth. It was wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's lit.
Straight ridiculous.
That's lit. I think that's one of the panels I'm talking about. I think that's one of the panels I'm talking about.
Yeah. Hey, disgusting. Hey, shout out to you, Chris. Hey, wait, what was he about to say?
Got his ass up out of here. He gotta change his name before he get on the stage, bro. I'm not playing with him.
Hey. shout out to the artist we were sitting next to at Albuquerque Comic-Con. Soy. I gotta get his name. Hey, check that out.
Hey, so did y'all get to watch any One Piece?
One Piece? Oh,
yeah,
no, we didn't have time to watch no One Piece out there in Albuquerque, man.
I watched some One Piece.
Let's check that out. All right,
that's fire. Let me see that Luffy again.
Picasso.
That's fire. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's crazy.
I was like, yes, sir. Give me that. Yeah, please put it in the bag.
Hey, 2 years ago, he would have never got that.
Hey, hey, y'all crazy, man. Hey,
Y'all see that?
fellas,
Y'all see that Jolly Roger in the back? Stop playing.
fellas, Arriva Dirch.
Arriba ciao.
I'll talk to y'all on the flip flop. Great show,
Ciao.
fellas. Hey, shout out to Jon Proudstar. Hey, shout out to Albuquerque Comic Con. Y'all did it once again. He's out there wilding. Shout out to the boy Rod. Shout out to my man.
I never would have let Cam win anything. That's crazy.
Okay,
That's absolute madness.
Before we go,
That's madness.
let's clear this up, man.
That's
See,
fucking madness.
I would see you had to say something, so now I gotta tell you what really happened. Okay, so check this out, man. I completely dusted these niggas. No, and there's two things I gotta tell you about. And Bobby glad he left because he knew I was gonna bring this up. Hey, so I smashed the niggas, right? And then we see Justin. Justin was there. Justin popped up. He was hella hype. Bobby was like, hey, what about Justin? Hey, winner take all. Well, based on what he does right now, winner take all. And my dumb ass was like, all right, cool. And then he went with Cam shit. But y'all ever been playing? Y'all ever been hooping? And they be like, next play win. You like, what the fuck you talking about, nigga? We up 10.
Yeah,
how's the next play win?
Yeah.
It felt like that all over again. Like, okay, yeah, I can beat y'all, and then like, so he didn't technically he lost. Like, them niggas got thrashed. But Justin came through, and it was all winner take all. Now, peep gang, we were supposed to take the stacks, right? And we were supposed to pick for each other. Tell me why Bobby was giving Boogeyman some ones that'll hit.
What?
Yeah, hey, what?
It was
we out here not playing the game.
It was some of that stuff.
Hey, Santo, would you have ever done that?
Hey, bro.
Would you have, if you could pick?
I don't play with mine.
Hey,
I don't play with mine, bro.
He conveniently forgot his. You know what I'm saying?
Who did?
Hey, Bobby.
That's
conveniently.
crazy.
Conveniently.
You shouldn't have been playing.
Hey, conveniently.
He shouldn't have been playing.
Yeah.
Hey, because you don't do that.
Hey, where Bobby at? Get Bobby back on here, man. Yeah, you absolutely correct. Say it live on the air, so we can record. We can make a clip out of this. Hey, the rules right now.
You don't forget your bread and butter.
You never do.
You don't forget your
bread
and butter, baby.
Hey, check this out. Helping out because Bobby go a little bit further back with Boog. Shout out to Boog. He was a lifesaver. Yeah. I would at least got an even playing field if you was there. Fuck you and fuck you. It would have been that, nigga. That's an even playing field. Niggas was in there trying to jump and shit. I'm like, oh, I see what's going on, nigga. Nah. Bobby wasn't playing the game. I'm snitching. Bobby was out there not playing the game correctly, nigga. I'm telling Santo and here on here, if you want to stick up for yourself, I suggest you jump on in the next 5 seconds, nigga. Because I'm about to be out this motherfucker.
And shout out to Jew too for the t-shirts.
Shout out to Jew.
Yeah, I planned on wearing one. Actually, it's right here. Hold up.
Shout out to Craig too in the chat.
Yeah, Big Hand in the chat.
Oh, you got some material.
Yeah, I got some merch he sent me. You know what I'm saying?
He an artist as well.
Yeah, I appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
shout
fire.
out to
Let's show that up.
Do y'all see it?
Fire.
Fire.
Yeah, shout out to Drew for the merch. She sent me a couple of more. I was wearing this one today though. Matching J's I got.
You ain't got no matching J's to go with that.
Hey, don't make me go. Hold on before we end the show.
Nah. Come on, man. Stay here, man.
You gonna
damn it.
Hey, I guarantee they the 5s.
God damn it. Nigga, I fucked up. Nigga.
You tried to say it real quick too. You're gonna just mention that.
God damn. Okay, cool, man.
Hey,
you just wasted a whole 12 minutes. God damn, it was my fault. Man. Hey, yeah, shout out to Tonyette. Shout out to Tanya. Shout out to Angel was in the building. Shout out to Ryder was in the building. The Sword Man. Shout out to Sword Man. And everybody kept coming up to I was like, hey, y'all selling the swords? Like, no, my man right here. He was selling them like hotcakes. Sword man. We saw him the sword, the Smithsonian swordsman. Like, hey, yeah. And everybody was out there. It was lovely. And we're gonna be back every year. So yeah, with that being said, I will not be back on here. So I'll take care of my back, man. So
hey, make sure you
hey, real quick before we end it, Santo. Hey, we need to get on Bobby about that, man.
About
he out there not playing the game. Why are you picking stuff?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hey,
no,
hey, he could have picked Special K, but he gave him Reese's Puffs. You see what I'm saying?
That's crazy. Yeah,
that's not playing the game. You're not playing the game, man.
Yeah, that's not being strategic. That's just blatantly disrespecting the game. Leaving your rebellion books at home when then still trying to play on somebody else's dime.
Exactly.
Blatantly disrespectful.
Hey, I'm glad that's sitting here right there. Hey, with that being said, arrivederci, fellas.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.